You know, you took an alto solo on Shanghai Shuffle.
Right.
I'll say that another alto player said the highest praise for Joe Lippman in print. Do you know who it was? Charlie Parker.
He did a thing with strings.
Mm-hmm.
And poor Joe would call him, and say, let's have a meeting and all. And Parker said, you take care of it. He was, Joe got some plaudits for that. And also some barbs.
Yeah.
He thought they used too much band and not enough Parker.
Well, then why have the band?
But Charlie Parker, oh, God. When I got out of the Navy, my brother played some Parker for me. And I'd been away from the business 3 years, scared the bejesus out of me. It was terrible. I never got to handle him what he was trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Do you have it now?
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
How could you play like Parker? I think he ruined more saxophone players than anybody I know.
You like what he does, but you don't think it works well other people trying to play it?
No.
Because it's too hard?
No, it isn't that. He was what do they call these people, savants?
Uh-huh.
That's what he was. You could just pick up a saxophone and play like that.
A lot of people try.
They don't make it.
Uh-huh.
He made it. And the funniest part of it is one of the nicest ballads I've ever heard was his Embraceable You. How he ever came up with that melody, I'll never know.
What do you think of that when you compare it to Coleman Hawkins' Body and Soul?
Oh, Body and Soul is a classic.
Do you see my point that they're similar in that they are busy
yeah.
performances, yet they are secure ballad performances nevertheless,
it shows a genius
with no melody.
Of both, right? Mm-hmm. It shows a genius of both.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm trying to harness if I'm judging what you're saying, you find a great reverence for melody, that these virtuoso saxophone players have, in a certain sense, despite their genius and virtuosity, mucked it up a bit because not everybody can play that way.
No.
Or perhaps you're saying should play that way. You can play that way and you shouldn't, or they just can't be done.
You mean what they did to those melodies?
No. I hear you passing favorable judgment on both Coleman Hawkins' Body and Soul,
right,
and on Charlie Parker's Embraceable You. So I guess there's no other point to be made. I thought you were saying that they did things to other people's approach to music making that you were frowning on in some way.
Well, you see, when you hear Body and Soul, Hawkins' Body and Soul, and you hear Parker's Embraceable You, you're hearing a singular thing. I mean, it can't be done. There's a Jesuit priest wrote a book on divine providence, and he said no matter how much you study and how prepared you are in music, when you play without thinking about anything else, something holistic maybe coming from inside, masterpieces come out. Because they're just playing exactly for the moment. It's hard to describe. And he refers to leaving things to the man upstairs, getting all the knowledge you want, and then when it comes time to create. A friend of mine, I think Bob Brookmeyer, said that when he sits down to write, if the pencil doesn't move, he won't write. Same way with saxophone, clarinet, any instrument.
We're talking here with clarinetist and saxophonist Joe Dixon. You were telling me to look for an air check of Nagasaki with Tommy Dorsey, but you did have an alto solo with Bunny Berrigan here on the Shanghai Shuffle. And you have a lyrical way of playing and a creamy tone there.
Yeah, I like to play alto. Mm-hmm. I used to.
So let me just back up for a second. After you left Tommy Dorsey, you went with Gus Arnheim.
Right.
Now, tell everybody, there's a whole world out there who don't know anything about Sweet and Lovely. Who's Gus Arnheim?
He wrote Sweet and Lovely, a couple other songs. He was the movie star band at the Ambassador in Hollywood, during the 20s, I think. And then when the swing era came along, he decided to revamp his band. And they were in Cincinnati, I believe, and the clarinet player that he had was leaving. And a fellow by the name of Joe Bush, I think, a drummer, a friend of his, he told him to look for a clarinet player. Well, Joe met me at the Forest Hotel in New York, and he said, "Have you left the Bunny Bergen band?" I said,
Tommy Dorsey.
I'm sorry,
Sure.
Tommy Dorsey. And he said, "Gus is a gentleman and a wonderful guy. You might like the band. He's got Bud Johnson writing." And I said, "Fine." So we called him, and he said, "Fly out." And we made a deal. It was very nice. And I stayed with the band for about 3 or 4 months till I got back to New York. We played the hotels out west and a lot of college dances. I wasn't crazy about the band. And so then when I got back, I went with Bunny right away, yeah.
Did you meet Bud Johnson?
Yes, we became good friends. He lived in Freeport.
Mm-hmm.
We played together a lot, sure.
But you knew him when he was writing for Gus Arnheim?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Do you remember anything he wrote for that band in particular?
Oh, he wrote a lot of arrangements of Blue Lou and a lot of those tunes, And the band wasn't that good. They couldn't swing. They had a good drummer called Lou Singer that I remember. We became very fast friends. But the band was okay, It's a hotel band, a pseudo swing band.
Another topic I wanted to switch to with Joe Dixon, who's our guest here, is now the singers. Now, you felt that the Bunny Bergen band didn't have good singers.
Have you heard them?
Yes.
So, don't ask.
What about Bunny Bergen singing?
Very weird, but there's something about I Can't Get Started that, I don't know, it's very quaint. It seems to fit. Everybody likes it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What did you remember anything in particular about making the record? You're on the original I Can't Get Started. Not the original, the Victor version, the 12-inch.
The Victor version came out like this, bang. They said, let's do it. Joe was there, Lipman, and he wrote in the extra parts right away. 2 cuts, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the theme song. The Prisoner song was on the other side.
Yeah.
It's a big hit. When we first heard the Prisoner song, Georgie and I went to Bunny and said, this is a real dog. We're not going to play this. But the public, they disagreed.
What did you think was wrong with the Prisoner song?
Oh, I didn't like the song, period. But after a while, we kept adding on to it and adding. And on the one-nighters, it was a very exciting piece because of the backgrounds we'd make up,
Sure.
And all the guys jamming up front.
I have a live version of that I like
Yeah.
to play for you. Do you know that one, maybe?
Which one?
Of the Prisoner song, the Bergen band.
No, I'd rather not hear that.
Really? I don't mean the studio version, a live version with those backgrounds.
Yeah, I've heard all those, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
How about the Wearing of the Green then?
I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
It has a clarinet choir in it. And Bunny is ridiculously... The way he comes in at the end of that thing, it scared us to death.
How so?
The way he made that entrance.
Mm-hmm.
He'd come out like a cannon,
Yeah. Now, he had a remarkable dynamics. He could play exceedingly loud and soft
God.
as well.
The range and the bravura, Mistakes, he didn't care.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Is there what do you think was the secret of his incredible dynamic range in music making? I mean, to the extent that he seems to have been able to play with facility at high volume.
There was no mystery to it. He just picked up the trumpet and played.
Yeah.
Some people can do that.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other things you remember about Bunny Berrigan?
Oh my God. Some of the things that went on in that, I hate to think about his, I hate to talk about his drinking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
His drinking was something we didn't know too much about in those days, but it was a mess.
Was there time for anything else besides drinking and playing music?
No. Well, women, yeah.
Mrs. Dixon heard from in the wings?
Yeah, yeah. He liked girls. He liked the girls. He was a crazy man. And his family were straight as an arrow. Farm people, you know. You know, next year they're going to have a Berrigan festival in his hometown, Fox Lake, Wisconsin. So I hope it goes. The last one didn't go well at all. But that wasn't his fault. It was the fault of the people that were running it didn't want to use his name.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were there for 3 days, and they hardly noticed us. And now they're going to try again next year. It's his daughter Joyce is behind that.
Mm-hmm. We're talking here with Joe Dixon, and we're learning a lot about jazz music. And I'm going to play a couple of tracks here. I'm going to play The Wearing of the Green.
That's a good one.
And I think I'm going to play something that I've been trying to... I've got an old note to myself from a million years ago. I probably found the answer, and I've never taken it, but it seems to me that there's a track here of in a little Spanish town that's not the studio version for Victor. It's a different recording, and there's some mystery of who the clarinet player is on this. And you mentioned something about recording with Bunny Berrigan even before you knew him, before you went with Dorsey or anything like that. You made a record date with Chick Bullock.
Oh, at Brunswick, yeah.
Yeah. How did you get involved in these things? How did you get this pickup work?
I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. I don't mean so much the specifics, but I mean, how did you have a reputation at all at this juncture? From recording for Bluebird with the Staffen Band, or from making auditions?
You know, we live in the Forest Hotel, and everybody knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody would call up and say, "Is there a good clarinet player around?" So they'd send me over.
All right. Well, Bunny
You never knew.
All right.
Wasn't like today where we're all fractured, you know. The musicians all lived, not fractured, that's the wrong word.
Fragmented?
Fragmented. We all lived in one place.
Mm-hmm. Scattered is even better word.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, well, let's hear some of the music that's being spoken of, and then we'll let Joe Dixon pick some more of the listening for us. But The Wearing of the Green, and I want to play you this other in a Spanish town.
All right.
Well, do you have any insight on who played clarinet on that track there?
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm. And all the other solo identifications that we could give you, you're just accepting my word for it. It was Bunny Berrigan. It sounded like Joe Bushkin on piano.
Yeah,
All right.
probably. Babe Russin.
Babe Russin on tenor.
Yeah, that was a group probably put together, before the big band. Before he went with Dorsey, probably.
Or Return to Dorsey.
Or Return.
Oh.
No, I don't know. I don't remember.
We're talking here with Joe Dixon, and he does remember a lot of things. The wearing of the green. You wanted to say something about the trombone part there.
Yeah, that was Nat Lebowski. He's one of the finest lead trombone players I've ever heard in my life. And when Tommy Dorsey heard that, he said, "My goodness, who's that guy?" He could play all, he had the range. And also when he played lead, you could have two trombones, he playing lead, Ray Conniff on second, it sounded like four.
Yeah.
That's the big sounds, He finally went with the WOR Symphony, I think. Yeah. Great guy.
Mm-hmm. And a Tommy Dorsey-like concept that you were saying you actually know that Tommy Dorsey listened to this record?
Oh, yeah, he heard it.
Uh-huh. What was his reaction?
He wanted to know who the trombone player was. They're gaining on him.
Yeah. There's a reverence for Tommy Dorsey. I was pointing out to you that Georgie Auld was really creating something of an illustration of Herschel Evans filtered through Babe Russin or
I
and a
don't
little
know.
bit of Vito Musso and things like that.
I think people, most of the guys thought he sounded like Ben Webster, but I didn't hear that.
Not in 37, it's later.
No, later maybe, yeah. He did his best playing with the Goodman Sextet.
With Charlie Christian.
Yeah.
Now, what happens to your career? We're talking here with Joe Dixon after the Bunny Berrigan period. I know you're in the Navy in World War II, and then you end up getting with Miff Mole.
No, what happened was I went with Fred Waring.
Ah.
He revamped his band, and we had a wonderful gig, 4 or 5 years on the Chesterfield show, 5 nights a week. Very lucrative job.
Yeah.
And you stayed in town, and I was tired of the road. The music wasn't very, you remember the band.
I sure do.
Mm-hmm. So he had me there because he needed at least a few musicians in the band.
Mm-hmm. Well,
a few.
Mm-hmm. Now, the other person who you spoke of at great length earlier in the show, who we don't really know too much about you're having a major association with, is Jack Teagarden. Joe Dixon on the... How did you meet Jack Teagarden?
Well, he roomed right next door to me in the Forest Hotel. And we'd sit and talk and drink at night, And then I go down to wherever he was playing, he'd let me sit in with him.
Well, he was playing with Paul Whiteman when you met him, though.
Probably.
He let you sit in with Paul Whiteman's
No,
orchestra? I don't think so.
When they were in town, after work, he'd go to 52nd Street and play. And Les Jenkins, one of his best friends from Oklahoma, he knew him and introduced me to him, and he liked the way I played, and I learned a lot from Jack.
What did you learn from Jack Teagarden, Joe Dixon?
Well, I learned conception and how to play the blues properly, how to play a melody, same as Bobby Hackett.
Did you see a great blues player in Jack Teagarden?
Oh, yeah. One of the best.
And how did he help you become a better blues player?
By listening to him.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't have to know him to listen to him.
But playing with him is a little better than listening.
Ah, so there's an extra answer, and a good one. So he would invite you to hang with him and jam.
Oh, sure.
Now,
he even invited me to join the Whiteman band. He talked Whiteman into hiring me. But I went with Bunny instead.
Yeah. So, this was probably when you were on the road with Gus. You went with Bunny, and the Gus Arnheim period too is also in this cover here. But that's impressive that Jack Teagarden put in a good word for you with Paul Whiteman.
He did, and he called me.
Yeah.
He said, I talked to the old man, and they were going back to Texas. And I had been there the year before with Tommy, and I didn't want to go through another summer like that.
Yeah.
But Jack was a beautiful man. Oh, what a great guy.
You played the Centennial in Texas, I guess, in '36.
No, we didn't play the Centennial. Whiteman did.
Mm-hmm.
We played the Ford radio show when Waring went on vacation, and then we played a couple of clubs in San Antonio, and then a hotel in Dallas for a month.
When you were on the road, did you meet any musicians who impressed you? Did you go out to listen to music?
Not really. We didn't have time. You mean on the road?
Yeah.
One-nighters, no. Once I think we ran into Jimmy Lunsford's band, and then another time we ran into Louie's band in Dallas. We went out to see them, yeah. Louie always impressed me all the time. I never heard him play anything wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was you're encountering him in Dallas the first time you had heard him perform live when you were with Tommy Dorsey? Or
Oh, no. He had a big band there. They were playing a big dance.
No, but had you heard him play live before, earlier, yourself?
Oh, yes, in New York. Mm-hmm.
When he came back from France in the mid-'30s?
Probably, yeah.
Who were the people who you thought were special in jazz then? Let's plunk you down anywhere arbitrarily, or before bebop. Now, Jack Teagarden, you felt was a consummate musician with a facility in the blues who liked you, tried to further your career, and aided you.
Billy Butterfield.
Okay, when did you meet Billy Butterfield?
In the Condon group.
Mm-hmm.
I played with Condon for a while.
Where?
We did concerts all over the East Coast.
This is in the 40s
and I also
now.
opened his club with him on West 3rd Street.
In 45?
Right after World War II. 46, 45.
I think it was December 20th of 45, but who's
probably.
counting?
Where does he get this guy's a walking encyclopedia.
Well, that's what he said.
Well,
Bill?
you opened Eddie Condon's.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Pee Wee Russell was his man, was Pee Wee.
Yeah, but he didn't open the club. I was on the road with Condon while I was still in the Navy. I was stationed at Lido Beach. And we played all the colleges, on the East Coast. We played Symphony Hall in Boston, Portland, Maine, Symphony Hall. We played the Symphony Hall in Philadelphia, Washington, all the way up and down the coast.
Mm-hmm.
About 18 men, Sidney Bechet, all those guys, all those old guys from New Orleans,
What did you make of Sidney Bechet?
Oh, I adored him, loved him.
Did you like his
His
approach?
playing and his person.
Okay, talk about his playing first. He plays very differently from you.
He was unique.
What did you like about it? What was unique about it, and what did you like about that?
Well, his sound, his inventiveness, and the way he handled the blues, and he was just a fine player
Mm-hmm.
and a wonderful guy. I remember if I asked him on a train once, going from Boston to New York, if he knew Laura. So we went in the smoking room where in the Pullmans, had these men's smoking rooms. He played Laura all the way to Hartford. Chorus after chorus after chorus.
You know, his lady fair was named Laura at that time.
Really? Ah, I hit a button.
I was going to show you a picture of the two of them.
Great guy.
So you just happened to ask for Laura because it was a big hit song at the time.
Well, it happened to be one of my wife's favorites, too.
Mm.
It's a pretty song.
Yes. Very nice. Charlie Parker did all right with it, too.
Yeah.
But Bechet's, did you hear him play much clarinet?
Yes. I love his clarinet sound. Yeah. Nice and tubby, That New Orleans Charlemagne register. It's beautiful.
What about the vibrato that Sidney Bechet used?
It was his.
Mm-hmm. You didn't mind it at all?
No, I don't mind it unless it's something to hide something.
Mm-hmm.
Some people use vibrato. The great French teacher Marcel Moïse, a French flautist, he called it cachet misère.
Right.
That's where you hide all your defects. But a vibrato actually is the intensity of the sound and the way it comes out. It's a natural thing.
Well, he really flickers.
I know, but that's the way they played.
Mm-hmm. We're talking here with Joe Dixon, and I'm asking him of people he has met in his travels. You mentioned Sidney Bechet. Any other Sidney Bechet stories?
Not that I can think of, no.
Now, what about Eddie Condon? He was a very big name and quite a spokesperson. He used to speak for himself, but there are people out there today don't even know who Eddie Condon is.
No, I know that. Isn't it strange?
It really is.
He was like the Saul Hurok, that type of Chicago jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting 8 or 10 guys together, putting them out on the stage. The stories, you could tell a million stories, of course, if you wanted to reflect on it. Not Sidney Bechet, but Pee-wee, you mentioned Pee-wee Russell.
Russell, right.
I got to love that man. And in the beginning, I thought he was the worst clarinet player I ever heard in my life. Well, anyway, we were in Symphony Hall in Boston, and the place was jammed, It's a big, beautiful hall. And Pee-wee went out with a rhythm section, and for some reason or other, he was coughing and didn't wet his reed. The first thing that came out of his clarinet was a burp, and it spit all over the place, and everyone got up and cheered, So Eddie came over to me and says, "You're on next." How do you follow that?
I don't know. You hiccuped on clarinet. I don't know. But Pee-wee Russell didn't charm you by burping on his clarinet. What did he do that charmed you?
There was a quaintness about his playing that you wouldn't hear anywhere else. It was fun. And despite his tone, which was his, and he could keep it, but he was a fun guy. He really was. He was a nice man. Nice man.
Mm-hmm. Did you come to ever meet Louis Armstrong better than just hearing him in?
Once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a cursory thing,
Right.
just shake hands and all, and that was it.
All right. Well, let's switch from the figures of. When did you decide to start teaching? And
Well, you mean Privately?
Yeah.
Oh, I think around 1958.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how did you go about that? You put out a shingle?
No, the word gets around,
Mm-hmm.
in the school and so forth. And I taught flute. I studied flute and became proficient enough on it to teach it and play it. And I taught saxophone and clarinet. So I had about 35 students until I got tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I took a job at Adelphi
Right.
University and taught clarinet and flute there, and also a jazz history course,
Mm-hmm.
playing recordings and talking about them,
Tell us about your Adelphi Jazz History course. What did you try to impart to them?
Well, I started right from the beginning,
Mhm.
and went through all the eras of jazz, from the beginning through modern and even fusion and so forth, and tried to do research on it and explain what was going on. To me, you can't just teach a jazz course. It's a history course, of course, but they've got to listen.
Right.
And then at the end of the course, I'd make them write an essay on it. That's the way I marked them.
Mm-hmm.
It was very successful.
Were they students or was it a survey course? Music students or a survey course?
No, they were from all walks of the university.
Now, in your private lessons, you've had some fairly Gary Smullian, and what other prominent members of our jazz world today?
Sam Morrison was with Miles for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good student, yeah. But, when you're teaching privately like that and the kids are coming over from the school, they're not serious. Gary was serious. But I didn't teach him. I was his mentor, actually. I just gave him material to practice.
Have you ever played baritone saxophone
Yep,
professionally? With,
yes. Studio work
Mm-hmm.
with the Bill Staffen Band.
Ah.
Uh-huh. And I did a lot of studio work with it, radio shows and so forth. I doubled baritone, clarinet, flute, piccolo, and alto and tenor.
When did you pick up the flute?
1960, I think.
So it's, relatively speaking, a recent addition to your stable of instruments.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we have a couple of musical areas we want to examine before our show is concluded.
Right.
We have Joe Dixon here with us on Traditions in Swing. I'm Phil Schapp, and this is WKCR-FM New York. We're at 89.9 on the dial. We have the Bobby Hackett record date for... He still lives, I think, out in California. Mel Rose is his name. And
Mel is very ill.
Yeah, he's been ill for a while. His brother
I
called
saw
me.
him several times out there, but he's not well.
Yeah.
But this never, he wanted to form a company, but it didn't work. I don't know why. I think we only did it 4 cuts, but there are 2 that are very good.
Oh, and they are?
Let's see, what do we have there?
Rose of the Rio Grande
Rose
is
of
one.
the Rio Grande, and I Want to Be Happy.
All right. Well, we'll play them. Vernon Brown on trombone, Bob Haggard on bass, Dave Bowman's piano, Carl Kress's guitar, George Wetling on drums, Dean Kincaid playing, if I'm not mistaken, baritone saxophone, and you play clarinet.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll hear Rose of the Rio Grande and I Want to Be Happy. Well, we just heard I Want to Be Happy, a rarer title from the Melrose Bobby Hackett session. Rose of the Rio Grande preceded it. I think the didn't quit attitude of I Want to Be Happy, we incidentally inputted on our playback here on Rose of the Rio Grande. Bobby Hackett, Vernon Brown, Joe Dixon, Dean Kincaid, Dave Bowman, Carl Kress, Bob Haggart, and George Wetling. Kincaid playing baritone, our guest Joe Dixon on clarinet. Anything you'd like to say about those records, Joe Dixon?
Oh, anytime you played with Bobby Hackett was like a party, you know. It was he was so good. Did you know Bobby?
I did indeed, and he was a very warm gentleman who was. He made you feel like you were special, even if you were just, walking in out of nowhere. And he had a dry sense of humor too that a lot of people forgot.
Oh my goodness. We were sitting in Charlie's bar, where the musicians would hang out, and somebody was saying that Bobby Hackett never had a bad word to say about anybody, ever, ever. So one guy said, I can get him to say a bad word about somebody. So a little later, as it were, Bobby walked in, and this fellow went over to him and he says, Bobby, what do you think of Adolf Hitler? He says, tops in his field.
A little rough there. I like Bobby Hackett's advertisement of his horn in Downbeat.
I don't know that one.
He advertises his horn for sale, and he says, and the upper register is entirely unused.
That is great. That's Bobby Hackett. What a beautiful melodic player. He'd pick notes like picking fruit off a tree,
Yeah.
It was beautiful. What a nice guy. And, I had his son with me,
Ernie.
And,
On drums.
And my last time I played Atlantic City at Bally's. Great drummer.
Yeah. Joe Dixon, a great clarinetist, is here with us, and he's telling us about people he's worked with. Miff Mole is an important engagement in your career. You worked with him quite extensively.
Yeah, he lived in Freeport, and we live in Oceanside, right close by, and we ride the train in together to Nick's when we played there. And then somebody from Chicago puts this record day together, and it's a pickup band.
Was it ever issued?
Yes, on a record company called Stephanie.
Okay.
But I've never seen it. I don't know how I happened to get this.
Well, somebody must have issued it then if you got it. This is very late in Miff Mole's life. He died in 1961.
Right.
I always thought his last hurrah was that photograph, on the stoop, the famous photograph. He's on in that photo in Harlem, on 126th Street.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's a very famous photo, but you have Jack Lesberg on bass, Chauncey Morehouse on drums, Frank Signorelli on piano. Jack Palmer plays trumpet.
Trumpet, yeah.
And yourself on clarinet with Miff Mole on trombone. Tell us about Miff Mole, musically and personally.
I don't know. He was very enigmatic, I was very young, when I would hang out with him, and Miff had a philosophy of saying, "Follow your bliss. Play the way you want to play. Do what you want to do in life." And he had a terrible life. In the beginning, he made about $700 or $800 a week, working the studios. He had his own chauffeur, and he died in abject poverty. I mean, in real bad shape, physically and otherwise. It was a terrible thing. But he was a very, very nice man to work with and a fine musician. He also, could play lead in the symphony.
Yes, he played with Toscanini, among
Right,
others.
right. And played tailgate. Where did these guys come from? I don't know.
His family, he had a musical background. His father was a violinist. Like the way I'm doing with Joe Dixon right now with you.
I do at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like to chat about music a lot, much to the chagrin of my guests.
But what about with these people? Like, would you quiz people like Miff Mole and others and Jack Teagarden? These people you befriended who were like,
Well, sometimes, I would ask them how it was with Whiteman and so forth and so on, and they'll tell me,
anything interesting they told you that lingers in your
Not
mind?
really.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh. Did you ask them about Bix Beiderbecke? Did you ask them about clarinet players?
Well, we used to ask a lot of questions about Bix Beiderbecke.
Mm-hmm.
And, what a weird personality he was. He wasn't like anybody else. Show up late and show up drunk. And, these people, I don't know whether they thought about other people.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a great talent.
Who are the great talents in jazz to you? Who's on your list of chosen few? I don't mean Desert Island or anything. Just
Well, Louis,
Mm-hmm.
Ellington,
Okay.
Benny Carter,
All right.
Fletcher Henderson,
Mm-hmm.
Bunny Berrigan.
Okay. You think that highly of him? You put him right up there with Ellington and Benny Carter.
Yeah, as a musician. Oh, sure. And it'd be hard to say there's so many, but these people were giants.
Now, did you? What did you make of? Were you aware of the Basie band coming to town? You made one reference to that.
Yes, as a matter of fact, my wife Betty and I went to their first night at the famous store. And it was a very funny evening. I can remember it because the movie actor Errol Flynn sat next. We were in these banquettes, against the wall. And the band was down at the end. And Errol Flynn was sitting next to my wife, was my girlfriend at the time, and she hit him on the shoulder and said to move back. The guy had shoulders about 10 feet wide, and he gave us both a dirty look, So I remember that. And somebody said, "Boy, it's a good thing you didn't go any further. He would have mopped up the floor with you." But the band was so great. Herschel Evans was one of my favorites. Yeah. I liked him before I liked the Prez. But he died so young.
Yeah.
And a nice man. And I met John Coltrane.
Really?
At rehearsals, out in Long Island. And
rehearsals for what?
Well, he'd start playing at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then they'd rehearse till 4 o'clock.
The rehearsals of his band, the quartet?
His quartet.
You attended John Coltrane quartet rehearsals?
Sure.
In Long Island?
Right.
Name a place.
The Cork and Bib.
The Cork and Bib. And what were these rehearsals like? Why did you stay on to hear
Because I wanted to hear them play.
I would too.
Yeah.
What were they?
Eric Dolphy was with them too that night.
Mm.
And Eric, I never understood what he was trying to do, but he was a fine flute player. Great flute player.
Did you understood what Coltrane was trying to do, though?
Yes, after a while, yeah. running those modal scales up and down. The way he mixed them up, was really terrific.
Dolphy, no. Coltrane, yes.
Well, no, I
Conceptually,
like Dolphy, but
I know you liked him, but
I mean, I could understand Coltrane better.
okay, you phrased it better than I did, and it's so you went to hear this band,
The group, yeah.
and then they rehearsed after the gig, and you stayed.
Right, and I stayed. Why not, if they'd let me?
How did Coltrane conduct a rehearsal?
Oh, I don't know. They tried different things, different pieces. They just kept playing and playing and playing.
Was there conversation?
A lot of conversation, sure.
Any gist of what they would talk about when they stopped playing and talk things over?
The usual talk, in rehearsals. Let's do it this way, that way. Try this, try that.
But the real core of what was so different musically didn't have to be discussed because that was already known. It was approach they were working on in rehearsal.
Of course. The drummer kind of fascinated me.
Elvin Jones?
Yeah. I'm used to Buddy Rich and guys like Joe Ascione and the kids that I play with, that really lay it down. That static, spastic type of drumming, I don't understand.
You had difficulties listening to Elvin Jones?
No, I just didn't understand it. But of course, I was listening more to Coltrane, and his pianist was just marvelous.
McCoy Tyner?
Yeah. It's a new sound, I'm listening for new things all the time.
And
I'm not frozen in the past. I've got some new stuff I'd like for you to play.
yeah. Well, I should play the Myth Mole and then we should play the new stuff.
Okay, that'd be fine.
I can't let you walk away from opening night at the famous store. So, did you befriend any members of the Basie band?
Herschel.
He played Albert's system.
I don't remember his clarinet. I know I liked the way he played his tenor. And I invited him to the bar. We had a couple of scotches. Scotch was 50 cents then.
Expensive by the time.
Yeah, probably.
I'll tell you that you dated the future Mrs. Dixon
Right.
on Monday, July 11th, 1938. And you probably were able to go because it was a Monday.
We were married the following year.
Well, you tell me the date and I'll help you remember your anniversaries.
That's easy.
April Fool's Day.
April 1st, 1939.
Right.
A 59th wedding anniversary coming up in a few months.
Right.
My goodness.
Bravo. Well, I wish my wife had taken me to see the famous store, the Count Basie band, on opening night.
Well, she didn't appreciate me, really. Well, I'll tell you, it's easy to keep a marriage going 58 years. You need a lot of barbed wire. How long have you been married?
5 months.
5 months, really? Oh my God! You'll get the knack of it.
Thank you. But I'm still not going to get to see the Basie band opening night at the famous store.
No, that's not possible.
Well, it is possible to play the Myth Mole material, and then we'll move on to your most recent
Okay, that'll
recording.
be fine.
All right. We're here with Joe Dixon, the gentleman with a sense of humor and some musical insight and a fresh approach, looking for fresh and new things, and knowing that this is part of that special kind of music. Well, we just heard recordings made by Miff Mole, deep into the legendary trombonist's career, obscure recordings that are in a good, happy groove, blues that is called mythology, and then the Jimtown Blues. Jack Palmer on trumpet, Joe Dixon, our guest here live in the studio on clarinet, Chauncey Morehouse on drums, Frank Signorelli on piano with Mole, Morehouse, and Signorelli. There was a great deal of reunion there. Jack Lesberg on bass, and we heard again Mythology and Jimtown Blues, roughly dated as 1959. Well, our date is not so much rough as just started. It's 1998, January the 3rd. It's 28 minutes before 9 o'clock on a Saturday evening, and I've spent the entirety of this evening with Joe Dixon, who has graced us with a great deal of personality as well as musical precision. and a great deal of respect for the wonder of swing and individuality. There's a learned musician here who is not going to get upset about the disparity of clarinet sounds that you might hear in, say, Joe Dixon or Pee Wee Russell or Sidney Bechet. And we're having everyone get their say musically and listening to commentary from Joe Dixon, and that's our theme on Traditions in Swing. I'm Phil Schapp, and this is WKCR-FM New York. You met Jack Lesberg in the Condon days, I guess, on those tours?
Yes, I did. Yeah, he's from Boston, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is a survivor of the Great Fire.
I did. Yeah, he might have been in that, right?
Yeah, and
I had heard one of those men had been in there. Yeah,
yeah.
That fire at the Coconut Grove.
The Coconut Grove fire, I believe, in 1942, maybe earlier.
Somewhere in there,
Boston. Yeah. He is a survivor of it.
That was a terrible thing.
Yeah, that was, I believe, the worst. There were two major fire tragedies. The other one was in Natchez, Mississippi, in 1940.
Oh boy!
With the fella, the Royal Creolians.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That Boston fire was terrible.
Yeah.
Yep. But I met. Yeah, I worked with Jack Lesberg was on a lot of Condon days, and I did a lot of those, and that's how I got to know him. Yeah.
Now, before I leave the opening night things, anything you could tell me that you recall about opening night at Eddie Condon's, the original Eddie Condon's down in the Village?
Very hot. No air conditioning.
It was winter. But they must have
No,
had
it was summer.
Really?
It was summer.
You sure?
No. It was around, let's see, April. I got out of the Navy in April. Around June or July, yeah. And, there was no air conditioning, and we were way in the rear of this room.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of rough. But they were doing very well there for a while.
Yeah.
But I didn't stay long.
Yeah, I kind of think that it opened in December of 45, but all right.
No, I don't think so. And then I left in September. Went freelance after that. I couldn't keep playing the same songs every night. It gets boring.
But you earlier I had said the date December for the opening of Condon's, but now you're quite sure it's a hot weather
Oh,
affair.
it was very hot, right. Maybe the club had opened sooner, but I don't think so.
All right.
You were there for a while.
Now, any other recollections about opening night at the famous door with the Basie Band?
Had a wonderful time.
What did the Basie Band do that you liked? What did the Basie Band do that you thought was different or liked?
I had, well, I mean, the subtlety of their swing. They were the real McCoy. And their soloists. Just a great band.
Yeah.
One of my favorite records of the Basie Band is it Ella Fitzgerald singing Shiny Stockings.
Ah. It's a whole different Basie Band.
Yeah, but what a great band.
Sure is.
They were all good. And Billy Mitchell, is one of my best friends. We lived close to each other. He was at my home last week.
Yeah, I saw him at Milt Jackson's 75th birthday party on Thursday afternoon.
For goodness sake.
Should have told him I was going to see Joe Dixon on Saturday.
We have a lot of fun together.
Yeah. Well, I'm having a lot of fun with Joe Dixon.
Thank you.
Your wife said that you should say something about Bing Crosby. She actually said we should play something, but why don't you speak?
Well, the Crosby date was so much fun.
Okay.
He was such a pro, and we had Joey Bushkin and myself and all the guys, and just Joey was in uniform, Army uniform. I was in a Navy uniform. We was just about getting out. And Bing was in town to be the godfather to Condon's little girl. And they decided to do a date. And Bing was so great to work with. We had fun, 2 days. A lot of fun. A nice guy.
And then you,
He gave us the royalties from that date.
as sidemen,
Yep.
that probably is the first time that ever happened to you.
Never happened before or after. Collected about 2 or 3 checks from that. Wonderful guy. Blue and Broken Hearted, a wonderful record.
Mm-hmm.
After You've Gone, Personality, good tunes. But Bing can, he's at home with anyone, you know, when he would sing. Yeah. I loved working with him.
Well, I am enjoying hearing about all of the work that you've done here, and you're still, one of the things that you've hinted at, and I have not been explicit about, is that you still do things.
Yeah.
And,
This is one of my favorite groups to work with.
okay, this is a session.
Yeah, Autumn Leaves, I open all my concerts with it
Why that?
because it brings them to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tune they can relate to, and then they relate to me. Now they start listening. It gets their attention.
Okay, well, it's an unusual opening tune. Louis Armstrong always opened with Back Home Again in Indiana.
Okay?
Some people don't have the same tune they open with, unless it's a hint of a theme song.
No, this is something I think that gets the attention of the audience because of the tune, you see.
And these are what, 1993 recordings?
Yeah.
And,
I had just had open heart surgery 3 months before.
Yeah.
My surgeon said I could start playing again. So Mark Marino, the guitarist, was great, a young protege of mine. He put the group together.
and who's in it?
Dave LaLama,
On piano?
yeah, Joe Ascione,
Drums.
fine drummer, Timmy Givens, he's from California, and Mark Marino and myself.
Mm-hmm. Timmy Givens plays saxophone?
The bass.
The bass.
It's just clarinet rhythm section.
Okay. All right. Well, that tells us who the horn player is, and that would be you, and we'll hear that. And
That's on a that, isn't it?
it is, and I'm going to play it.
Thank you.